Hi y'all, I'm Dr. Linda. I'm a yogi with a southern drawl and a shrink that tells you like it is. For the month of August, we're going to be working on knee rotation. Everything about knees, not just rotation, but how to rotate, as well as how to not rotate and keep it aligned the way it needs to be to help prevent injury and minimize the pain to your knees. And so this would be our first lesson on the knees. So what I want you to do is grab a chair and take your shoes off and let's get cozy. And the first thing you want to do after you get the chair, sit your butt down and take your shoes off. And if you're wearing your socks, oh my God, then you're already not following the instructions. Take your frickin' socks off. Look at your feet. I don't care what you think about them. Love your feet. They're part of your body. And if you want to love yourself, let's start from the ground and work our way up. Oh wait, which is what we're doing in learning how to use our body. We're going to start at the ground and work our way up. And we're going to go all the way up to the knee today. First thing is your feet. Sit in a chair, scoot closer to the edge, and put your feet right underneath your knees. So your ankle just below the knee is stacked on top of the ankle. And you just sit there, tap your feet, make sure they're in the right place. Plant the heels and don't move them. And now what I want you to do is make sure that there's a 90-degree angle at the knee. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. So I'm going to move towards the edge of the chair. The bottom of the chair is right here, just below where what I call the thut, right? And I didn't make that word up. My yoga coach made that word up, I think. So that's where the thigh meets the butt. So my thut is right here. My chair end is just below the thut. Everybody's got one, don't say you don't. And I'm gonna create, I got a 90-degree angle right here at the bend of the knee, and guess what? At the ankle. So my knee is stacked on top of my ankle. My knees are right in line with my hip, right? And the first thing I want you to do is plant your feet. So plant the heels, lift the feet, and then lower the feet back down. As you do that, pull the toes back to the nose, and you'll feel the calves engage right here. Plant the balls of the feet, and then lower the toes, starting with the pinky. And if you can't do this and you think that is ridiculous, well, start the frick over because it's important. Plant the pinky toe. The more you practice, the more the muscles strengthen, the more you'll get used to it. If you can't separate your toes and plant your pinky toes, then guess what? Your ability to walk when you get older, it's gonna be really screwed up. So start it now. Plant your toes. Start with the pinky, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, big toe. Right? So my heels are planted, my toes are planted, and that lifts the arches. The balls of my feet are planted, lifts the arches. So you ought to see little muscles engage right above the arch, right? My feet are planted, my knees are at 90 degrees, I'm sitting on my thigh, and now I'm gonna stand up. And this, you might think this is easy, but it's not. And you may be thinking, oh, well, what the heck are we doing? Just learn how to stand up? You just try it and let me know. So I want you to stand up right where you're at. Don't move your feet. Cool, huh? All right. Now sit back down. Look where you're going. Sit back down. Just plop on down. Okay, got it? Now, I want you to look at how you ended up and how I ended up. I'm not completely at 90 degrees and my chair is further beyond my thut. So I'm gonna move back to where I was. And we got a couple of goals for today. The first goal is to be able to sit down right where we stood up where the chair ends, because we want to be able to make a connection in our mind between time and space and body. What our body is doing in space at the right time or the wrong time. At time, space, body, right? So stand up, there you go, and sit down. You can look, I made it. Try looking for a couple times. Down, and look. And it's good, you can look right between your legs. You stand up, look where the chair is, and aim it. Now, after you've looked for a couple of times, close your eyes. And I know that's gonna be scary because you might be thinking, oh my God, what if the chair is not there? The chair's not going anywhere. And since your feet aren't going anywhere, you're gonna get that chair. Because it's unlikely that you're gonna be able to push your knees so far out that you sit down like this and miss the chair. That's ridiculous. So get that freaking stupid thought right out of your head. You're not gonna miss the chair. If anything, you're gonna overshoot it and you're gonna end up way back here. Okay? Butt, 90 degrees, heels planted, lift the feet, pull the toes back to the nose, plant the balls of the feet, and then plant the pinky, fourth, third, second, big toe. Arches are lifted, knees in line with the hips. Ready? 1, 2, 3, stand up. Close your eyes. 1, 2, 3, sit down. Got it. Try it again. 1, close your eyes. 1, 2, 3, stand up. 1, 2, 3, sit down. Whew. Now, if you struggle with anxiety, you might feel your heart racing right now, because just to close your eyes and learn where things are in your surroundings, that can raise the anxiety. Practice. If you're too afraid or you have disabilities or injuries, try it on a couch where you got room, and then go to a chair, sit with a counter to use your hand, and work your way up to being able to use the chair without the counter or the couch. Okay, so definitely take your precautions if you need to, if you have disabilities or concerns, injuries, things like that. But don't use them as a crutch, all right? Next thing is, now when you master that ability to sit down and stand up with the eyes closed, reach the chair where you're supposed to be, we're gonna move on to the next part. The next part is being able to stand up without pushing your knees in front of the feet. So you see how my knees are stacked directly over my ankles? So if I'm gonna push my knees in front of the feet, then we go like that and we stand up. We don't wanna do that. And same thing when we sit down. What happens when people sit down is they use their knees, they push out and they sit back. And I felt every single pain in my right knee when I just did that. We don't wanna do that. We want the knee stacked over the ankle as much as humanly possible, but it does take some muscle strength to be able to keep it there and get it there. So my rule of thumb is the middle of the foot, and worst case scenario to shoot for, not worst case, but last case, is the edge of is the very tip of the big toe. That is the absolute least modification that I want you to shoot for. And everybody's starting it in a different place, and I want you to go where your body's at, all right? So first modification is when you push your knees forward, you look down, and your knees are lined up with the big toes. I would really rather you not do that, because so much pressure is on the knees when you do that, and you're just risking, you know, a decline in your ability to use your knee and your strength, and it just tears it down. It deteriorates the joint when we use our knees improperly. So that is the least modification, or the most modification. The next one is at the base of the big toe. You come forward at the base of the big toe and you stand up. That's a lot less pressure than at the front of the toe, but I'd rather not do that either. The safest modification, in my opinion, is to line the knee up with the middle of the toe, or the middle of the foot, sorry. Now come down, about right there, and you stand up. So that brings, how do you know where your T is? Because it's hard to look down. If you lower your arms down, your wrist is just below your shoulder, your arms are hanging free, wherever your fingertips are pointed. So if I push my knees forward and push them forward, woo, right now, that is at the front of my toes. I know you can't see my head. That's at the front of my toes. I pull it back. That's at the base of my toe. Pull it back. And now I'm hanging mid-foot. All right? The goal is to be able to keep the knee over the ankle, but I get that you have to build up to that. So I'm going to keep my knee over the ankle, and watch. When I stand up, my calf is going to stay straight, mostly straight, knees over the ankle. So my movement is in my thigh because my knee is bending, but my calves aren't moving. So keep the calves straight. And now to sit down, same thing. You push the booty back because you want the bend to come from here and the thighs to move, not the calves. Push the booty back and sit down. That's how you end up in the same space. Right? Pull it up. Keep the calves straight the knees in line with the ankles, and you lift up, and you come down. Go back, sit down. Keep the calves straight. Come up, sit down. Up, sit down. And you practice until you can get the calves as stable as possible. And you'll feel it. You'll feel it in these muscles. You'll feel it in the glutes. You feel it in the thighs, everywhere. Because your muscles are working to move the body. That's your job. That's the muscle's job, is to support and move the bones, right? Use your muscles, not your joints. You should feel nothing in the knees when you learn how to do this and you do it properly. Nothing. Empty space. That's it. All right. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. Post any questions that you have below, or message me if you have questions and concerns. And again, before you start any exercise routine, make sure to check with your doctor or your physical therapist if that's applicable, and always follow instructions that they give you and what a yogi gives you, not yourself, unless you really know what you're doing and you have education in it. Okay? All right. Bye, y'all.